It's a perfect night, perfect fire, not too hot, no wind and clear sky. It's supposed to be cold. It doesn't really feel cold, right? I cannot really figure out how cold it actually is. We'll find out. This should supposedly it should be like -8. I of course have to show you how I'm gonna sleep anyway. Danny's gonna sleep in his old body there.
Yeah.
But I have this bag here, you've seen many times, but I have this wool blanket. It's like a Russian wool ranger roll. And the thin German army, the Bundeswehr ground pad, which is really, really thin. I'm using this setup here because for a reason. I think I will explain why at a later point in time. There's something with the wool here I want to test out, actually. So this video here, this little short video here is gonna be like a Survival Russia R&D, research and development video, and this is not a commercial of any kind. I'm not selling any of these items, but I want to tell you a little bit about my experience. I want to show you from real examples in the videos, several videos actually. Wool, why wool is king, you can say, or wool versus modern materials. There are some synthetic materials which can replicate some of the things that wool can do. One of the examples is Primaloft and most likely G-Loft as well. Primaloft, it still retains 96% or something of its insulating capabilities, even it's wet. But specifically for things you can wear and use as a ground pad, I think there's nothing compares to wool actually. So the background of this video here should be found in my video in the winter of 2022, where I not almost died, but I woke up really, really cold because I fell asleep around the campfire without any cover or anything, and about -20, maybe a little bit -22 or something like this. It was cold. -20 is cold enough, trust me, for camping in the open. But I woke up because I fell asleep unintended, and as the saying goes here, like yeah, you will wake up once and second time you won't wake up. And that's when I actually said on the video, we're gonna stop, we're gonna go home. But I say in the video that I felt cold on my back, but I was not feeling any cold from the ground. This year here during the winter, I made a camp, made a little camping trip up here at in the forest, and I was using only synthetic materials, modern materials, like tactical stuff. I was even wearing these trousers with long johns under, and this and this and that. And I noticed in this video or in this camping trip that I could feel the cold from the ground. Not a lot, but I could feel the cold. We have a nasty breeze from the north. I've been sitting here for like half an hour, 30-40 minutes without this fjelduk and without this cover here, which is, as I mentioned many times, super, super awesome. And today it is definitely a lifesaver, or what we can call it. As many of you guys know, I use this Bundeswehr, the German military ground pad. I use it a lot. It's not my only ground pad, but I always have it in my pack because it's easy to sit on, and you can use it as a ground pad, right? It folds out, and you can of course use it like in full length, but narrow. But then it will be like 8mm because these are 4mm thick. And you guys have asked me, how did it perform? How did it perform? I've actually often get the question about this mat here, because of course not made for really cold weather, but it's really a good all-round ground pad. But -20, I was using this ground pad here. I was wearing wool bibs. We can also call them overalls. And I was wearing this exact jacket here. And this is of course a heavy wool jacket, right? This is a material that the old Russian, Soviets and most likely before greatcoats, military greatcoats were made of. So -20, woolen overalls or bibs, no trousers up to here. The greatcoat there, the hunting suit there, and I was just sleeping on this bag here, nothing else, or the ground pad, nothing else. I had a Yavin bag without insulation with me, which I wanted to test out, but yeah, I just fell asleep without using it, and it was not so great. It was like already 4 or 5 in the morning there when I woke up. I don't know how long I slept or anything like that. But as I said, I noticed I did not feel any cold from the ground whatsoever. I felt cold on the back and so on, which was facing away from the fire. Not super cold, but I've been sleeping there for most likely around 1.5 to 2 hours or something. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. But it was enough for me to wake up like, "Ugh!" Yeah, that was crazy. So, on my little outing with Danny, our overnighter at Camp Mexico up in the woods there, I was just wearing this stuff here, with the woolen bibs. And then I used this wool blanket, as you can see in the video. I showed in the video. I was using this wool blanket here, which is made of the exact same material as the jacket, and that's why I brought it with me, because I was not wearing the jacket. It was too warm for that. But the result was exactly the same. I could not feel any cold from the ground whatsoever, because up at the camp where I was camping during the winter there, -10 was not -20, but doesn't matter, the ground is not -20 or -30, the ground is just cold, right, when you remove the snow. So, up there I could really feel the cold. It was not like shivering cold because I had a fire and so on, right, but it was significant. I mean, if I hadn't had a fire up there with my modern synthetic tactical stuff and this and that, I would have been cold. With this stuff here, with the wool, it's not like that. Of course, modern materials and so on, tactical equipment and camping equipment has its uses. Of course, I have a very nice Finnish military ground pad from Savotta, which Danny was sleeping on. I don't think Danny had any complaints about that. I never had any complaints about it, but you cannot wear it, right? And it's not really that multifunctional, not like the blanket we have here. Because as I said, the blanket replaced my jacket, but and I was using the blanket in this configuration here, so I had, you can say, 4 layers of blanket between me and the cold ground and this ground pad there. So yeah, for multifunctional use and so on, this stuff here, wool, is really hard to beat. And I think it has to do with that it is like wool felt, right? This will not shrink it in wash, by the way. Some people think that it will, but it won't, because it's already shrunken. Modern materials like the Primaloft we have in this jacket here, for example, this is thin Primaloft, and sleeping bags as well and so on. When you lay on them, you compress the insulation material, and the insulation value, the R value, goes out the window. Done. It's not the same with this stuff here, because when I was at the camp, -20, I only had 2 layers, my bibs and my jacket. So on this trip here, I was actually much more insulated, because this alone here has 4 layers when it's used in this configuration anyway. And then I had my bibs, so it was actually 5 layers, right? And the little pad. But that is anyway one of the things which is really, really awesome about wool. It doesn't burn around the campfire either. Not like many of the synthetics. Alright guys, some of you have asked for new ways and other ways to support the channel. There should be a join button in the description here, not in the description, down around the subscribe button, and you can subscribe of course as well, but there should be a join button so you can become a channel member. For you guys who do not want to be channel members and just want to keep things as they are and was, no problem, and it's not gonna make any changes to you guys. Maybe there's gonna be a little bit of changes, positive changes to the guys of the ones of you who decides to support the channel via channel membership. I appreciate your support as always, guys. Thank you very much. So for what it's worth, wool definitely has, or this kind of wool felt anyway, not a woolen sweater or anything like this, but have to be this wool felt, right? It has a considerable advantage over modern insulation materials, except real ground pads and air inflated pads and so on. But it has a considerable advantage from shielding the cold from the ground to your body. That is for dang sure. This I have definitely established as a fact, in my own opinion, by now anyway. So guys, please check the links in the description. Please consider supporting the channel and all that good stuff. And until next time, get out and train, get done, do something awesome. See you in the next video, guys. Thank you very much for your time.